Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're talking about playoffs. We're talking about Predator. We're going to give that movie review. And also, brothers, we are talking about inspirational quotes during these hankered down times in the winter. So we're going to get all into it. Let's go, brothers.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Home Bar Happy Hour. We bring happy hour to you. My name is Joe, and that is Chef Gus. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by the Home Bar. If you like hanging out, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a review on your podcast service of choice. Today's episode is sponsored by BuyBlacket.com. We'll tell you about that a little bit later. For first, let's jump right into it. Mike, what did you think of playoff of wild card weekend?
It was a good. I like wild card weekend. You know, it's the last time where you're going to get a bunch of games for the next 6 months, or whatever, 7 months. And there's maybe an upset. I don't know if the Washington. I don't know. I would think it was kind of like fairly even with Washington, but for what you said, I was already like 3 sheets to the wind after that Birds game.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is like our defense played amazing. Bo Nix from Denver, I thought that they played really good in the first quarter, if not in the first half.
Yeah.
Like that team, like they're going to be a good team next year. I think Bo Nix is legit. But yeah, dude, our defense, sick, disgusting.
They turned up. It was a very good game for the Eagles, obviously coming away with a win, a pretty commanding win, and we were leading the entire game, which is something you don't typically see from the Eagles. We don't typically go up by 10 points in the first quarter and then just hold on to a lead. Definitely more of a second half team. But it was a good game. I don't think it was super evenly matched. The Packers are a good team, but they just kind of felt like they just couldn't hang with our defense, and then again with our offense throughout the whole game. But
yeah,
it was still a good showing. Everyone played hard. I think everyone had fun. That's what it's about, right?
And like I said, like to the Packers' credit, like they're going to be a good team too. Like Jordan Love he's a legit quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
Josh Jacobs is he's a really good running back. They just need some offensive line. They were also down Christian Watson, who
doesn't help.
I don't really. I would say he's equivalent to Devontae Smith. That's how I look at him. He's not like an A.J. Brown or a Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams, or a CeeDee Lamb, like a big wide receiver.
Sure.
But like I would feel if they were to draft something like that, like maybe like they're at, like Greg Jennings, like he was a big-bodied receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and big boy in there.
Yeah, and it gets some more pieces up there in the defense, and like they're going to be a good team for like the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. So, they're working on building something, and that's that's what you could ask for from a team like the Packers right now, is to make it to the first round, right? Make it to the wild card game, and have a good showing, and keep building off of that. For the Birds, we're in kind of a totally different situation. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of expectations put on us, and I think we got a much tougher one coming up this Sunday against the Rams. I think that's going to be a tougher game.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
I also feel like our offense left a lot of meat on the bone, mostly because of Jalen Hurts. And I feel like the offense was basically the coaches were, and they were telling us that through their offensive play calling, which is very conservative.
Yeah.
Only pass when you needed to, like take care of the ball. Don't make any crazy, we're trying to move on to the next round.
Yeah.
And it's all about shaking the rust off from the guys who were, the key players who had some time off there.
Yeah, Jalen hasn't played in 4 or 5 weeks, right? So you don't want him going out there.
I feel like he did what he needed to do. I said at the end of the day, I was like, if Kenny Pickett could come out and play like that at putting in a full week's work, like Jalen Hurts. I mean, after 18 weeks of battling plus like practicing in August in the summer camp.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot on your body. So But if Kenny Pickett come out and manage the game like he did with broken ribs, Jalen Hurts could come out, and I'd feel comfortable because obviously I feel Jalen Hurts is a much better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. I feel like everybody can agree on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away from Kenny Pickett, though. I mean, he's just a better quarterback.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And I think, I mean, even, Jalen Hurts being off for however long it was, when he got that concussion, he was still doing exactly what he needed to do, right? Like the Eagles were playing very conservatively, but he still had a few runs, got a few first downs. He was doing what he needed to do, and they were leading on Saquon Barkley, which is what you should do when you're, when you get a lead early, when you already have that lead, that's when you're running the ball. That's when you're playing super conservatively, and that's what I like to see.
All I know is I told everyone, and nobody went, I don't know, man, the Vikings are a legit team, man. I'm like, no, I refuse to believe it because of Sam Darnold. I refuse to believe that it was just because of Sam Darnold. If the Vikings had if their first round pick, who's that, McCarthy?
Sure,
McCartney or Jaden McCartney or whatever his name is. I forget what their first round pick was. But like if he came in there and he was playing like Jaden Daniels down in Washington, and he was playing like that at elite level, that's a different story because I don't know what this kid's going to do in the playoffs. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like Sam Darnold, we already have this. He has a rapport or he's already got a scouting tape on him through. Give or take, he was with the Jets and then with the Panthers, but still, I mean, he didn't do anything to impress us there. I felt like I'm just going to say it. I would have thought like they should be lucky that they lost to the Rams because if they would have came to Philly, they would have those fucking fans would have had a complete fucking meltdown.
Yeah,
I'm like that would not have been good. So it's probably best that you just go out and Sam Darnold's going to be a free agent. You're going to keep your first round picks. So they're a team right there that they're fortunate that they're in the position that they are. So they don't have to pay Sam Darnold all this fucking money. They could just roll with their first round pick who's been taking a back seat. And, like me, I always give respect where respect is. Dude, you can't just tell me that Sam Darnold was the truth that was going to take you to the fucking Super Bowl. I refuse to believe it. And he made them to be frauds. They are not a fraudulent team. It's just that he's a fraud.
Okay.
That's what I believe. So
all right. Fair enough. Well, let's get into
I feel bad. The Washington Tampa Bay game, I don't know. I thought Tampa Bay was going to maybe pull it out, but they didn't. But down there in Tampa, you know what they got going on down in Tampa right now?
What's that?
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, it's called and I apologize to all the Tampa Bay population down there if I don't pronounce this right. The Gasparilla Pirate Festival. Have you seen this?
I have not.
It's like their equivalent to like St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
And dude, it's all boats. Everybody's on boats. They got and everybody's dressed up as a pirate. Everybody's, everybody's drinking. They got live music. They got food. Like it's all pirate oriented. It's just a one big pirate festival. And I'm like, bro, that is so sick. Well, coming from me, I got a boat and I love the water and I love being a pirate. I'm like, dude, oh my God, next year, bro. Next year, I'm going to that shit.
You're going to take it down, start pillaging some other boats?
No, we're not going to be doing any pillaging. Yeah. But we're definitely going to have a feather in our hat or if not a parrot on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Be like walking around with a peg leg and just like tape one of my legs up to around my big fat fucking goddamn thighs and then just stick a fucking prosthetic limb around my knee and just walk around with that.
Yeah.
Like Robin Williams and Hook. Arr, arr.
Yeah.
How you doing? Not bad, you.
It looks like a pretty good time. I used to live in a small town outside of Baltimore, and they did a pirate festival every year. It was nothing like this. The biggest they had, it was like a 2-day event. The biggest thing for adults they had was a pirate bar crawl. A bunch of people would dress like a pirate. There was like 6 or 7 bars, and at every bar there'd be a a treasure chest somewhere you'd have to find. You find the treasure chest and you pull out like a little clue or something that tells you about where the treasure is in the next bar.
Oh,
And you do
that's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was cool then. But I think it was kind of like
it's almost like a scavenger hunt or like a bar crawl scavenger hunt type of thing.
Yeah, what are those things with the cards, like the poker run, right? Because you got like a card every one, and then whoever had like the best hand at the last bar, got a prize or something. But it was a fun time. It was a good time to dress up like a pirate. I remember I went with a friend of mine who was a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so we just wore like a Pirates jersey, and I was like, "You're lame, dude. Come on, get into it. You gotta, get the 3 pointy hat and everything. Go all out."
Yeah, like a 3 pointy hat. Not even that. Just watch Pirates of the Caribbean, man.
Right.
There's plenty of pirate hats out there that you can wear.
Right, man, I get like Captain Jack Sparrow.
I get the biggest fucking hat known, and just as long as it's got the skull and bones. Like when I went out to Put-in-Bay, Ohio, this past August.
Yeah,
and the one dude, I was like, "Yo, man, that's a sick fucking pirate hat." He's like, "Hey, man, you want it?" I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, here you go." And I was like, "Dude, thanks, bro." I was like, "Let me buy you a drink." Nah, it's all right, man. So I got this pirate hat. I don't know, somewhere. It's probably in storage.
Yeah,
it ain't behind the bar with all my other.
Waiting for pirate season. So you went to, speaking of bars, you went to a couple this weekend, Mike. What'd you think of them?
Yeah. Well, so Hollywood is that's been there for a while, but now they're under new ownership, so they're doing a complete remodeling phase. The only issue that I had about it was that they have like a big open area where they had a big open area where they had a big giant screen, like a rollout screen for a projector.
Okay.
And now all that area, it's like seats like 100 people in there, or maybe even more. And a big bar. They're currently gutted that whole side out. And I'm like, yo, why would you do that right now? It's playoff season. Yeah. Like they told me like every year they told me every year that they would, the guys that always go there told me every year, like they make a shit ton off of revenue there for playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you mean to tell me you couldn't wait till like next month? Well, apparently the owners aren't big sports fans. And I was like, well, you better know your sports because that's part of running a bar. That's where you get all your profit, your revenues, alcohol and food. Like, sure, you want to be packed, and especially a place that big.
Yeah,
like, you want to make sure that you want to be packing that place all the time. Like, I don't know any owner that would throw away money. You know what I mean? Or just like, it's all right. I understand if you want to go to another bar. Like, that's not a very good business concept, in my opinion. Because you're just losing money. Like, you're not Macy's or you're not what is that, Kohl's and Miracle on 34th Street. If we don't have it, we'll send you somewhere else who does have it.
Well, that business model isn't working out well for Macy's either. They're closing like half of their stores this year.
That.
Yeah, they're done.
But that was the only con, and I'm sure once it's all renovated and everything like that, it'll be a really good place, a very good place.
They're probably trying to get it renovated for the summer, right? That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's not like a real outdoor. It's not a really outdoorsy thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bar, it's a sports bar and diner. So well, that's like the thing. It was like I remember when I ordered food there under the previous owners, and it really wasn't that great. I mean, it was just like I just felt like it was unflavored food. Like I got like the chicken fajitas there, and they came out in a sizzling plate, and they smelled good and stuff like that. But they had it didn't have any, it had no seasoning to it. It was bland.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm like, yo, you got hot sauce? And they got Tabasco sauce. And I'm like, oh, not that shit. I was like, yo, where's my Cholula?
Right. Yeah.
Or where's my Cholula? I mean, at least have some Franks, man.
Cholula is what you want from Mexican food for sure.
And then, but this time around, I've never been so excited to go somewhere to get a salad. That's how good those salads are. They were. I looked at the menu and I was like, Jesus, $17 for a salad? Holy fuck. And then I was like, when I had the side salad with my chicken and shrimp, I was like, oh damn, this shit's good. It's like fresh. Like it's hard to keep. I was like, all right, so I'm going to try out a salad. So I did. I got a Greek salad with Euro meat on top. Bro, it is phenomenal. Everything was fresh. The Euro meat was great. And then the next day I got the Cobb salad. That Cobb salad was fantastic. what else did I get there? They had the chicken. The chicken and shrimp came with a Cajun pasta. I didn't know that it was with pasta, so I just ate the chicken and shrimp out of it and just boxed up the pasta. That was really good. That was on their special. That was very good. And what else did I have? I just had like a chicken Caesar wrap. Yeah, chicken Caesar wrap with a side salad. All good. All good. All great. We also got breakfast there 2 times.
Oh, man, you guys
Omelets.
were like living at this bar.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I got like omelets. Omelets, dude. I love when I go for breakfast and they got like the actual like sausage links that are I don't know, man. Like like your real diner, like they're like legit sausage, like
Yeah,
legit
yeah.
sausage.
Not
You
like
can
the
tell that it's
frozen
not
Jimmy
frozen
Dean
shit.
stuff, right?
Yeah. And then the other bar, the Mount Royal Inn, great place. That on the other hand, that's like a different type of bar. That's like your dive bar. Uh, they got, I would look at it as kind of like a biker bar, but their food that was coming out, look, I was watching what people were eating and stuff, and it looked really good. And I asked them what they were known for. If I wasn't just so full from breakfast, I would have gotten there. They're known for their MRI wings, Mount Royal Inn wings, but it's like a sauce, like it's
Sure.
sauce, MRI sauce. So, but yeah, I would have gotten that, but I was more looking forward to the to the salad back in Hollywood later that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we were putting in shifts, bro.
Nice.
But yeah, it was great. And then yeah, so that's what we want to keep. I want to keep on doing that. We both want to keep on doing these types of reviews at least once a week or once every other week. I know I don't have the fucking I don't really. Yeah, I'm going to try and get out more to review more bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, see what's going around in the neighborhood and beyond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking today? Is that just a water?
Yeah, it's just water, bro.
All right.
I'm cleaning myself up for this weekend.
Yeah. Gotta release all the toxins sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
But yeah, so what do we got here? What else we got here? I brought something up. We were all talking me and my buddies. It was like, dude, what were some of the worst fundraisers you've ever done? Either when you were a child, doing in organizations, so you're like scouts or baseball, sports, or like if you were in college, you were part of a Greek organization or stuff like that. What were some of the? Do you have any of those?
So for me, it was all like growing up in elementary school. I guess I don't remember anything like past that, but it was always the Joe Corby's pizza, and it was like it was like these frozen pizza. I don't know if they still do it, but they're like frozen pizza packs that you have to like assemble yourself. So it's like frozen cheese, frozen sauce, frozen dough. But I mean, it's like absolutely garbage pizza, and you're spending like more on it than you would on, just like Pizza Hut or something. So yeah, I remember like having to shill those out as a kid, like walking around everyone in church, like, would you like some shitty pizza? Here you go.
Yeah.
Those were always the worst. I'm sure my parents ended up, buying like 5 or 10 of them to at least put something on the board.
Yeah, I think some of the best ones, it's definitely any type of hoagie. If you're out there selling hoagies or the Kaiser roll sandwiches, I'm going to be buying some off of you.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, man, but you get those hoagies, dude. And
you're a big hoagie guy.
I love hoagies, man. I love cold cuts, brother.
Yeah, big cold cuts.
Yeah,
cold cut. Nice Italian sub.
Yeah, especially like an Italian sub. Like, it's got to be it's the bread and stuff. But get a cheap hoagie for the fundraisers. For the kids and stuff like that. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I remember selling Wolfgang candy.
I don't even know what that is. I saw that here, but I don't remember Wolfgang candy at all. I'm not familiar with
Wolfgang,
it.
Well, it is a it's a fundraiser. Now it is really good candy. It is good candy. I remember selling that, so that's why I said it. But man, dude, it was just haggling people. Like, everybody's like, dude, it was so annoying. I'm like, yo, hi, my name is Mike. I'm on like the 55th house. I'm like, I'm raising money for scouts or either scouts or football or something in high school or we're not even going to get the college yet. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I remember when we were in Cub Scouts. I think the worst candy. I don't even know the name of it, but I'm telling you, the worst candy I've ever like. I was talking to my brother about this. it's in a clear plastic wraps, and they come
That's
in
always
like
a bad sign.
golden,
Yeah.
yeah, golden, like a golden yellowish, almost like it's almost like somebody's hot tooth. The color of a bad tooth,
Ugh.
and you just open it up, and it's just like all these and they're like chocolate covered coconut and peanut and stuff, and it was just like, dude, you bought into it, you bit into it. I feel like I was like, dude, where did they get these from? World War II? Were these guys
All
eating
the
this stuff in
stale
World War
chocolate
II?
and stuff. Yeah, that stuff's brutal, man.
It was horrible, man. It was just like something like I'd set it up and it was like, oh, hey, you want to buy, 10 cents for this one? I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah.
The bane of my life.
You know who's got it figured out is the Girl Scouts. They have their own like line of cookies. No one else sells like Girl Scout cookies. It's just like a specific time. Everyone, they have such a variety of lines. So, if there's a Girl Scout, you know exactly what cookie you want, how many you want. You're not getting it anywhere else. They've really figured out the whole, fundraising aspect of it.
I feel like now the Boy Scouts popcorn isn't as popular as the Girl Scout cookies, but it's based off the same business model.
But cookies are better than popcorn.
Yeah. It all depends on what popcorn, dude. I will take movie theater popcorn. Like we said before, I'll take that hands down over any cookie. I'm not really a big cookie guy. Yeah, I don't have a big sweet tooth. I like a salt. I like popcorn and stuff like that. But
I mean, I don't know. A good chocolate chip cookie kind of trumps anything, especially I don't know. Maybe I'm just not super into popcorn. Always you get a kernel stuck in the back of your throat or something.
Yeah, that's always the worst.
Like 2 days. Yeah, I can't deal with that.
Yo, I had to also walk around with like a briefcase of like samples of like office supplies, stationery stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, what? I don't know, like I had to have this whole speech, and I'm like, hey, buy this, buy that. I'm like, and it was just all junk. It was junk.
What businessman out there is buying like a stapler from a 8-year-old? Like, I'm gonna take this to the office. I need a new stapler. It's like, come on, our company gives us this stuff.
Yeah, you buy it and then you use it, it just breaks, and it was just like. Pfft. But
actually, this is the only. I found a great use for this. If you want to murder your wife, you can buy a letter opener from one of these kids to like destroy the paper trail. You know what I mean? There's no credit card receipts. That's the only reason you should buy office supplies from one of these fundraising kids is if you're trying to murder your wife and they got a little letter opener. And then, hey, kid, let me buy this murder weapon off of you for $6 and then you're
why
gone.
Stop there? Why don't you just get the envelopes with the shitty toxic glue on there and they could just pass away like that?
There you go. Yep. Here, hon, I need you to seal 300 of these envelopes for our Christmas cards.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you can walk it in like George Costanza. And you're like, she's no longer with us. So she's gone, dead? Yeah. Oh man! But one of the good ones was in college, and we used to do fundraisers. And I'm not going to drop the one. I will not drop the one place because I'll never go there again. But it is a theme park that's out in Ohio, and I'll never go there ever again. Based on the living conditions that they had us in and the treatment. Dude, we rolled up in there to do fundraising to run sales stands, like, game stands, merchandise stands, stuff like that. And they put us up in these. Dude, we rolled in there. It was like prison. It had barbed wire and concertina wire and shit, man. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, I didn't sign up for this. This is stuff that we get in the Army, man. I'm a civilian at the moment, dude. What the fuck?
They're trying to keep you in there.
Yeah, and then they were absolutely treated us like trash. They were just horrible to it. And I'm just like, I got to end up getting kicked out. I was like, I'm out of here. And they're like, all because I just left it. I was just like, I just locked the money machine or the cash register and just walked the fuck out. I just had enough of this.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I'm just like back at the main gate there, just like talking to my friends and stuff. And then like they came over like 15 pack of fucking goddamn security guards. And I'm just like, what? Like, calm down, man. I'm out of here. I was like,
not that serious.
I said, I was like, hey, I'll wait for you out in the car. So, but yeah, then, and then we had to purchase our own our own shit. Like everybody needed to get khakis, and everybody needed to buy everybody had to get their own khakis. Everybody had to get white sneakers or some shit like that. And then everybody had, I think it was like the shirts, like the button down. We had to get those lumberjack flannel shirts.
Okay.
And I'm like,
khakis and flannels walking around.
I was like, why am I? I'll just give this money to you guys, or give this money to the organization. The best one though was working for a theme park down in Pittsburgh, and we were frighters. And man, I love Halloween, man. And I remember Asian Dan, he dressed up. He dressed up as an old woman. They had like all these costumes and stuff, and he just started putting stuff. He just put on this old lady's dress and an old lady's wig and covered his face in white and put lipstick on. And he's like in this haunted house reaching at these kids. These kids are all like harassing him. He's like, "Come here, you little kids, you little shits!" Oh, that was hilarious.
Getting them good.
Yeah,
part of it.
But I think we could do a good.
Let's go. Yep. Let's go to an ad. If you guys weren't aware, this is the Home Bar Happy Hour. We are brought to you by BuyBlacket.com. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m., we bring Happy Hour to you. And we're going to shoot over to our sponsor and tell you about that right now. This episode of Home Bar Happy Hour is brought to you by BuyBeckett.com. Head over to BuyBeckett.com/homebarhappy to shop their happy hour line of clothing and gifts. They have cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, and fun coffee mugs that lets everyone know you care about the important things in life, like happy hour. And if you use our link, you can get 15% off your first order. Buy Beckett has a ton of great clothing and accessory options, from their happy hour line to their veteran first line. Mike and I are both vets, and we love showing our support for the troops with a cool mug or a funny t-shirt. They have some really great stuff, and you will not be disappointed. So head over to buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description for 15% off your first order. Help support the show and get yourself some great stuff. That's buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description. So, Mike, you got to tell me about the Chumbawamba incident. What is the Chumbawamba incident?
So I always like to throw in a good story, either from the Army or from college or throughout my drinking life days. So we were up there. I was right when I came up to college, and I was a pledge. And I'm kind of thinking, and it was definitely in the winter. It was definitely in the winter about this time. And I was walking up into the apartment, and I forgot what it was, but everybody was early, was drinking. It's probably around like 6 o'clock. Everyone's drinking. I'm coming up there to drink with them. And all of a sudden, like, somebody threw Chumbawamba on, and everybody's like, everybody's like jumping around and shit, like a bunch of wild animals and stuff. And I just like, oh man, we're going to start a mosh pit. Let me jump in there. So I jump in there. I grabbed the one dude and picked him up. Threw him down on the ground, and he ended up dislocating his fucking shoulder, and they had to go to the goddamn hospital for him.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was getting wild, man. Everybody was like pushing each other's stuff. It was like a mosh pit, but then when I come in there, I'm like a fucking bear, and I'm just like, I'm just like,
assaulting people.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, I just picked them up and like power slammed them.
Oh, man.
And don't get it wrong. Later that night, they were throwing glass bottles off the fucking walls in the kitchen, and
so it got worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was always like that. And then what was, I forget, the one time I was walking up in that apartment, and they were all up there playing video games and stuff. And my one friend, Boosh, or nicknamed Boosh, and their roommate yelled in there. He just got done taking a dump. And his roommate had a distinct vote, like I do. I have a dark, deep voice. Everybody's got a distinct voice, and I was like very good at picking. I'm still good at imitating people. And he was like, "Hey, Buckley, turn that fan on. I need to take a shower." And I said that right after he did, and the whole fucking place went up in laughter. Man, he was like, "You fucking asshole!"
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't want to go too many of these stories. We have a long future ahead of us, so we have a lot of entertainment to do.
Let's talk about the OG Predator movie. Did you rewatch that this week?
I did. I'll let you start off with that.
I did not rewatch it this week. I have seen it several times. I'm actually gonna do a little Alien versus Predator rewatch, I think, this year. Watch all the Alien movies, all the Predator movies, and the Alien versus Predator movies, which are some of the worst movies ever made, if you've ever seen this. But the first Predator
Oh yeah.
is a great movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, just doing the Lord's work hunting down this Predator. But what do you think about it, Mike? Is it one of your top flicks?
It's definitely a top 80s action movie flick for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's that first one. I would say the second one mainly went off of if you look at the characters from the second one with Danny Glover, if you look off of it, it's basically like Predator versus Lethal Weapon.
Second one gets bigger, right? Like the first one is, kind of a more contained, like we're in the jungle, there's something happening. It's almost more of like a horror flick. And the second one, kind of similar like the Alien and Aliens, turns into like much more of an action film and, this war kind of going on.
I feel like, they go from that's how I feel. The first one's more of a war, where the second one's more of urban crime. And
right.
LA being, big, high crime, as every city.
Yeah.
But at that time, like LA was notorious for having high crime, and but that's the stigma that was always passed in the 80s. But let's get back to the first one there. You won't find it's extremely hard to find a movie that passes on so much masculinity. It's not even funny. I've never seen two dudes. Who you got? Duke walking in there with an M60. You got Jesse Ventura walking in there with a minigun on his back and an MP5 for his primary weapon.
Yeah, they were definitely loaded up. They were not hurting for artillery in that fight.
And then it was the what else was it? It's so funny too because their weapons. Like you got like Billy the tracker he's got an M16 like. So they all got the M16, so they're all like 30 feet
big,
long. And
yeah.
then he's got like a big Mossberg 500 off the end of it.
Yeah,
like that's not a cut down version either. And then and then Arnold's walking around with the M16 with the 203 launch underneath.
Yep.
And then you got some guys that are carrying MP5s like Carl Weathers and Poncho, and I'm just like, who carries like I don't know. I'm not an SF guy. I'm sure if we had an SF guy, an operator on here talking about it, he probably, I don't know, he might be laughing. I don't know. But
they're going to war with a predator. They got to find their.
Well, they don't know that right away. They're going in there.
They know it's something. They know it's something.
Well, they're going in there to rescue hostages.
Yeah.
That's what they're going in for. But it's so funny, like how Arnold just like crawls down there and he picks up that fucking truck that has no back wheels to it. It's just running off the axle to pump water. And he just picks it up and he sends it riding. And nobody sees him. And it sends it riding. They're loaded with C4. And then like Jesse Ventura, like, look at her. What the fuck? With like 5 pounds of Chosky hanging out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the best was when he unloaded that minigun up in a tree, and it was just a sniper up in the tree, and he just fucking just cuts that goddamn. I was like, Jesus, talk about overkill. The M60 could have done that. Like, holy shit. And then all those dudes like run around the corner and he's there with the fucking minigun. Dude, there'd be nothing in real life. They're not like, there's nothing left to those people.
Yeah. The key to success is overwhelming firepower,
Yeah. And then it's the movie's got so many good one-liners in it, like knock knock, and he shoots his 203 at the dude. He flies through the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Or Billy, get me out of this hole.
Yeah, get to the chopper, right? Yep.
And then the best is at the end there when he's like ready to fight the predator, and he's like, and then the predator's like, oh, it's game on, and then he warms up his fucking blades, and then what was dude when the predator actually takes his mask off, and because he doesn't want to kill Arnold because he finds him to be a worthy adversary or worthy opponent in a fight. So then when he takes his mask off and he just disarms himself and it's just all hand to hand and he's like, I'm like, bro, fuck that.
Time to go. Like, go time.
I'm like, no, that motherfucker. Well, he stands like, well, Arnold's what, like almost 7 feet tall. Like I think he's like 6'6".
Is he that
Six,
tall?
six yeah, he's like 6'6", 6'8".
He's
Like
probably
he's
shrunk a little bit in his older age.
yeah, like bone decay and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So that makes that Predator like 8 feet tall,
Yeah, big boy.
and his arms are like the length of somebody's body. His hands
Yeah.
were like huge. But yeah, I
That,
just thought it was a really good action movie.
yeah, it's a great action flick, and it's great. This is 1987, so all the effects are like practical effects. You know what I mean? There's no CGI. The only like kind of it's not CGI, but the only graphics is the like thermal imaging you kind of see that's been like altered, but it's a straight up costume for the Predator. It's a guy walking around in that suit. It looks super cool. As opposed to like the first Alien, if you watch that from '79, whenever you see the alien, you're like, this looks like a dude in a black suit. The Predator looks really cool on screen.
Also, it's got one of the greatest handshakes that's been heard around the world. Dylan,
yeah.
you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
What's the matter? CIA's got you pushing too many pencils.
Yep. And that's become a meme, right? The hands coming out.
Yeah, yep. That's what I said, like masculinity.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely pro masculinity. It is a very masculine movie.
Yep.
They don't make flicks like that anymore for sure. But I did like the newer one, the Prey. It came out a couple years ago. That was pretty good. I liked how they kind of brought it all back. Yeah.
I definitely liked Prey. When they had him cornered and in the smoke in an area, I guess it was the French or whatever. And I think everybody was really happy to see that happen because those guys were all fucking, they were bad people.
Yeah.
So it was good. And like that one dude came out of there with a hatchet and he just punches him and he just goes flying into a tree.
Yeah. Taking him out.
I'm really excited. And then they kept it original too, because at the end, he handed her
that knife, right?
No. It was the pistol.
The pistol. Right. Yeah.
That's how she got it. Yeah, she got the pistol from those guys there. So that musket pistol was from the second one when he handed it to Danny Glover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it becomes a thing.
So that tells you right there it's a part of that universe. So I'm excited. There's two of them coming out this year, I believe. And I feel like they're both going to be really good because those ones definitely after the second one were just absolutely horrible.
Yeah. The first, they definitely went downhill.
They just used special effects to carry them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of these like film series, they certainly start to go downhill. There was Predators in 2010, The Predator in 2018. Yeah, those were terrible. And then the Alien vs. Predator films, which everyone was like asking for, and they came out and were just terrible, man.
I think they spent all their money on CGI and not on like a quality storyline or quality actors.
They were trying to make franchises, trying to combine franchises, get both fans of each series like into it, and by doing so, they lost what was special about each franchise. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, when they start making different Predators and shit, I'm just like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like Prey is a little because they're evolving and stuff, but I don't want to. I want to see like the Predator, the actual Predator.
Yeah.
I don't want to see these like enhanced. I don't want to see like 10 feet tall ones coming in there and. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But yeah, the first Predator, a great movie to go back to and revisit.
But we're gonna start off here. I've had the winter days can cause a little doom and gloom because it's like post holiday season. It's cold as hell. Nobody wants to go outside, so the vitamin D is going down. You're not getting that. You're not getting the sunny D. You're also maybe people were dealing with post holiday finances or something like that. Other people are just like I wanted to touch on this the last episode for our post New Year's, but a Some people were asking, like, I look around, like, people are trying to improve their life and stuff like that. And I will tell you from my personal experiences, I was like, the number one thing that improved my life drastically from 2024 till now, that I started doing mentally, was just forgive and forget. Like, that's like the number thing. Who gives a shit if you're at fault or not in a fight that you had with a sibling or a parent or a grandpa, family member or a friend? You know, shoot them a text, forgive and forget, and you're not carrying all this grudge, this negativity around. Like, forget it. And who cares if they don't forgive you? You said your piece. That makes you a better person. Like, don't be bringing, like, don't hang on to this stuff, this bitterness, the grudges, the negativity. That's what eats you down. That's what holds you down. I was like, stop worrying what others think. Who gives a shit? You know what I think? If you're worried about that, I think you need to grab yourself a drink. Have a cold one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then,
just let it go.
yeah, stop overcomplicating things. Don't, like, think too much into this shit. Like, if you see something, you read something, or you listen to somebody, like, whatever. Like, just don't overthink it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Just, like, you tell me where I need to be, what time, and what to, where is this going to be? Where, when, how, when, where, and how, and who. I don't know. I don't want to be, there's still some, very few people out there that I just don't care to hang with or speak with. There's extremely very few. It might sound simplistic or dumb, but once you actually apply it all to your daily life, I can guarantee you that it's going to be you're going to be feeling much better upstairs as a person. You're going to feel like a good person. The other thing is when I was down there this weekend in New Jersey and Philly area, our buddy Meech, I don't really find too many people. You probably do, Joe. I just haven't really noticed it, but I do. I hold the door open for everyone. We're over there at the Hollywood, or if we're outside, I'm leaving to go outside to hit my vape or something like that. I'm always holding the door open for, especially for the older people. And man, I have never received so many thank yous, and the old ladies definitely dig it. They love it. Calling them ma'am and sir and stuff like that. Everybody just like, oh, that's because you were in the military. I was like, no, it's just because I'm a good person. Like, that's what this world needs, is like better people, feel good. Like, pass that around, and then if somebody just like doesn't say anything to you or whatever, whatever. You know what? They're obviously they're not feeling the juice. They're not feeling the vibes, man.
Yeah, don't hold on to that grudge. Just let it go.
I'm like, if the world were to go down tomorrow,
Which
if I were to die, or if I were to die tomorrow, I'm going out with no regrets. I'm not weighing myself down with any hate, any type of negativity. I'm going out of this world a good person. So that's why you always live your life. Like, that's what they say, live your life like it's your last. That's just my personal opinion. So what do you think about, Joe? Do you have anything to touch off on that one?
I think that is all perfect advice. I'm too lazy to hold a grudge. If there's people have wronged me, I've wronged people. I do my best to learn from any mistakes. I used to get really, I guess, like anxious and like embarrassed about things that I did. But I've kind of like learned that, every time I mess up or screw up or whatever, it's just kind of an opportunity to be a little better and to learn from that. And I guess going off a little bit about what you're saying about staying indoors, and especially like these cold times, one thing that really helped me out, I work from home 100% of the time. I don't go into an office every day. My lab that I work at's across the country in Los Angeles, so I don't get to see those people. Planning things outside of the house and making sure to go do that, not every day, but at least once or twice a week, I make sure I have something that gets me out of the house. And that is like huge for my mental health. I kind of, I built this bar in my basement. I have a gym out in the garage and, my office here. So I'd like built like a whole little world for myself where I didn't have to leave very often. And that just really starts to, weigh on you. I think, you're starting to see some of the effects of that with kids that were stuck at home, weren't able to go to school through the pandemic and stuff like that. It's been really tough on them to get it back. And it can be very easy to just kind of live in your own world and only get, certain interactions online or whatever, but that's not good for you. You need to get out, you need to see people, you need to be social as much as you can, don't go broke doing it. But just getting out and not holding them grudges. That's the most important thing going into 2025.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then also, like, set yourself up on that regimen, like get out there, even like go to the gym and stuff like that, getting some social. I don't personally like talking to people when I go to the gym. I just put my fucking beats in and I'm just like, I just go, even if I go in there just to, I just go in there just to walk on the treadmill.
I don't talk to people either, but still getting out of the house is like huge, like still getting away and being around people that are all like kind of having a shared experience,
Yeah, and then also like at the end of the week, treat yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
whatever that means.
Any of your guilty pleasures, like your like what kind of food or stuff. If you're on a diet, I like to. So I'm on keto and stuff. I like to treat myself to some, maybe some wings. Maybe you know what I mean, like something. Wing. Yeah, and grab some Mountain Dews, man. Hard Mountain Dews.
I had one of them this weekend. Good stuff. Nostalgia.
Yeah,
brings me back.
Kind of like based off. I was watching. I don't know if it was Shane Gillis or somebody, but it was definitely a video out there from a podcast about guys like anybody who quits drinking, or I don't forget what it was, but it was. I'm like, dude, this guy's out of control, man. It's like, dude, because I'm like, dude, if you are a recovering alcoholic, good for you. Stay the course. I mean, obviously, not a lot of people can handle themselves with alcohol throughout their lives as other people can. Like, everybody's different, and that's okay. But like for me, like I do things in moderation now. I'm like as I get older, moderation. Like if I was, you know what I mean. If I were to have like a cheat meal, and like St. Patty's Day, I feel like I'm gonna have like that's gonna be my first cheat meal because I love a good Reuben. I love some corned beef hash and eggs. Yeah. Also, I'm not going out there drinking Jameson all day.
Yeah. You want to get a Guinness or two in there. Get some. Of them nice carbs.
I would prefer to have light beer because I can be able to. That's my thing. Like I could be able to control myself all day. It's all about controlling yourself. When I feel like and then it's what was that dude who's just an Eagles fan down there who was saying all those harsh, disgusting words to that girl, that Packers fan.
Yeah, they found him. Yeah, did you see
that?
Yeah,
they found it. Did you see that he's banned for life now and from the stadium
for life? And they sent that girl a bunch of Packers gear.
Yeah, and he's also been fired from his job.
I would imagine so. You got to be really careful with what you're doing with the internet that exists now, right?
How does that guy look like? What is he, like 50, 60 years old?
I mean, he's probably not getting another job anytime soon. I don't know. Yeah, it was.
I'm like, dude, I just don't understand. Like, what the hell are you like? You got to, and that's the other thing too. Is like you got to understand that there's cameras everywhere now.
Yeah,
everybody wants to be a social media sensation, especially at sporting events. Definitely football. Everybody's looking with a camera for drunk people doing drunk shit.
Yep. Yep, and you're in a public place, right? It's not like
you're in Philadelphia, so we have, Eagles fans have their reputation, but
just be kind to people. You know what I mean? Like a little, like general ribbing or busting on someone is fine, but man, that dude was going way too hard, way too far. Like, you gotta keep it in check, man.
I'd say like keeping your emotions in check. Yeah. I don't care. You can't use alcohol as an excuse. Oh well, I was drunk. Nah, sorry, that's who you are on the inside. Alcohol just brings out the worst in people.
That is true. Alcohol is like a magnifying glass.
Or for us, it brings out the best in us.
Yeah, it makes people a little happier. That's all it is, right? If you're a really angry person and you drink it, it makes you angrier. If you're a very happy, jovial person, it makes you a little happier and more jovial. But it also lowers your inhibition. So if you're, maybe happy and go lucky, maybe you drink a little too much, you get a little too happy go lucky, right? There's always some consequences. You gotta, like you said, moderation. Make sure you're being safe with whatever it is you're doing.
I can tell you this one thing. I will not, when the Birds are on here for the playoffs, I'm not going to be drinking in moderation.
No, you're going to be tearing it up.
Oh yeah, but at least it's just like one day. I can't be going and like throwing these bangers like I was this past weekend.
Yeah.
But before we get going here, Joe, I just want to do, we haven't done beef time in a little bit. And I just want to say something real quick.
Okay.
PFF. I'm trying to find the words that I can. Okay. They can go to hell. Those I don't know who the hell employs these people but they're spouting out some of the most the dumbest shit. Like how you can have Saquon Barkley. I'm not trying to be a homer here, because Derrick Henry's not even up on the top there. He's like, I think they got like Derrick Henry like third or something like that. They got like the Chargers McConkley in there ahead of Saquon Barkley. I'm like, what? I'm like, Barkley's like at like 9. I don't care who you are. If you're like, it should be like Barkley and Henry up top.
Yeah.
And you can make your argument for whoever has the first or second, but they should definitely be the top 2. And then you got Josh Jacobs, and who else? Who else are we throwing in there? Joe Mixon played really good this year. Like he's definitely in definitely a top 5. Like I don't understand. Like what are these dudes like looking at? These fucking people who sit there and do these analytics all the time, and that's all they look at is analytics, are fucking nerds. I'm sorry, but you're a nerd. You're not watching football. Like you're like, there's, I just don't get it, man. Like you could put stats down there, but that doesn't make them a fucking a good or a bad player. What's on the field, the plays, like that, just just off the top of my head, the Barkley hurdled that player. Like the only thing that stats are recording is the yardage,
right,
and the carry. Like they're not recording like how talented he was, or any running back or any positional player, how good they were. Like Justin Jefferson being on the Vikings. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched a lot of the Vikings, if at any, but I can guarantee you that Justin Jefferson made some unbelievable catches that made Sam Darnold look really good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
There's 2 things about stats, right? Numbers don't lie, but numbers also don't tell the full story, right? You always need some context behind it, and you can kind of skew statistics in a certain way to make something your favor. But like you're saying, right? If you're not watching the full games and getting the full focus of, someone might only get 100 yards rushing, but were they, key yards? Were they tough plays? How many snaps did they, go to? Like, they're only telling a partial story. So you got to look at all the context surrounding the stats.
Yeah. Now, if you're watching it and you're using analytics to back up your claims, and you're watching it to you know what I mean, that's one thing. But it is extremely impossible to watch every game, to follow every player. Half these goddamn sports analysts don't even fucking do it. They spout off some of the dumbest shit. Colin Cowherd out there, like he said some stupid shit today.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what he said. I haven't heard.
I feel like these people just say shit just to get more of the analysts or the sports talks, right? They just say stuff to get likes, and people.
Yeah, they got to fill up a lot of air, so they got to talk about stuff they don't really know, for sure.
Yeah, and we talk about shit that we don't even know either, but at least we admit it. You know what I mean? At least we admit it.
At least we admit it. I think that's it. I'm glad we brought back beef time. We got beef with you, Pro Football Focus. And that's all for me. I guess we'll see you again next Thursday at 4:30.